an S corporation, you can differentiate your income. And when she's being a business owner, she can take distributions, almost like being a stockholder or shareholder. But when she's being a business runner or a technician, then she pays herself a salary, whatever that reasonable salary is. So that's salary plus distribution. Salary gets hit with self-employment tax, which can be as high as 15.3%. Distributions avoid that 15.3%. And so it is a little bit more tax efficient. Money can be complicated. Let a nerd help you. We're here to demystify the complex nature of money by getting you answers from financial nerds and whiz kids. Welcome to Ask the Money Nerds, a weekly segment of the Wealth Labs podcast where we answer your most pressing money questions. Are you one of the lucky ones that have extra cash? And it's not luck. Maybe it is for some. Maybe you're part of the lucky sperm club. But for most people, it's because they did a lot of things to get there. But you're just not sure what to do with it? What if you need that cash for an opportunity, but you're also balancing that with needing it for safety? What are your options? Well, I'm going to turn to my chief of staff, Stolba, to kind of go through this question and answer it for everybody.
Ellen wrote in, and she is wondering what to do after her business is making some money. So
it's awesome that it's making money.
I know.
It's good news.
Congratulations. That's not an easy thing to do. Here's what she says. Our business is finally making money and is growing rapidly. I don't know what I should be doing beyond taking my normal pay. We recently switched from an LLC to an S corporation, so I do know about taking paychecks rather than an owner draw. But what do I do with all the money in my checking account? It's a great problem to have.
Okay, so if she's growing rapidly, one thing I want her to look into is Section 199A, because if she has employees and that's part of the growth, there might be some ways to get some pass-through tax deductions.
Okay.
What she's talking about with taking salary versus draws or distributions, for everybody's information, is an S corporation, you can differentiate your income. And when she's being a business owner, she can take distributions, almost like being a stockholder or shareholder. But when she's being a business runner or a technician, then she pays herself a salary, whatever that reasonable salary is. So that's salary plus distribution. Salary gets hit with self-employment tax, which can be as high as 15.3%. Distributions avoid that 15.3%. And so it is a little bit more tax efficient.
You have spoken before about working in your business versus on your business. Yeah. So if you're working on your business, is that more of a distribution?
Right. That's more of a distribution. Okay. Then, like, let's say you're a dentist and you're chair side. Well, that's in the business. Let's say that you're learning how to add sleep apnea strategies or cancer screenings or collaborate with other doctors because of heart health or cardiologists. So like that's more working on the business, right? Or thinking about the overall vision or direction or acquiring another company. Yeah. Now you're operating more as like an investor. So so that's a differentiating factor. And that can be hard for people to distinguish, right? Like sometimes when I started my business, I was just runner, operate. I was everything. Customer service. I was coach. I was, you name it. And then you kind of grow out of that. And it's been a long journey of business in 21 years where I'm finally at a place where I've learned how to let go of the reins in certain places, let people own their roles, let people kind of grow and do things on their own that they could come and ask for support, but they usually don't need to. So that's a pretty big distinction. And so tax savings is going to be a big part of this, like looking to reclassify income. Can she make active income more passive, like she talked about with the S corporation? Can she turn ordinary income into capital gains? That'll help her keep a lot more. That's the Section 199 that I mentioned. Tax-free. If you're a C corporation down the road, there might be a chance for a 1202, or if you ever sell your business using charitable trusts or caps trust, like look at your exit strategies before you sell your business. Start to learn about them today. And then there is some tax arbitrage opportunities. I'm not going to go into that, but that's when we spend $1, we get more than $1 back. But I really want people to focus on tax as a big part of this during the growth, because that's going to help out. Build plenty of liquidity, build plenty of savings, because as you grow, there is risk in growing too fast, hiring too quickly, having, reinvesting too fast, and then all of a sudden having a cash flow crunch. So, certain industries changing, or, you never know. So it's just important to hold on to a little bit of cash so you have a war chest or a peace of mind fund. That would be kind of another big factor there as well. And then you might, as you grow rapidly, need to upgrade your team. I'd recommend going to wealthfactory.com/no more budget. And there's great kind of strengths test for your finances. And you can actually talk to someone if you need to acquire and build a team to do some of these things. That could be super helpful.
Okay. All right. So another one of her questions is this. She says, should I create a business savings that at least pays some interest? Should we take it one question at a time
Sure.
today?
I mean, look, we know that like certificates of deposit are paying minuscule amounts of interest. We know that, money markets aren't paying very much interest in savings accounts. And even bonds are a little bit scary right now with interest rates so low. If interest rates go up, you're going to lose value in that bond. They have this inverse relationship that way. And, so I would be really careful. There is the opportunity with cash flow banking, but you need to be mindful. It can take some time before it hits break even or before you get above break even. That could be a 3 to 5 year type of proposition. So you want to be careful about that, but cashflowbanking.com can get some resources for that. And you can actually own that from the business. So that could be a savings account for the business. But in rapid growing, I just want to be mindful and careful not to overextend, not to be so optimistic that it's only going to get better all the time. Hopefully it does, but just being prepared is really important.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Her next question says, we do not have much company debt and have paid cash for our vehicles.
Awesome.
Do I use it to buy CDs or other? You've kind of already touched on that. We have quite a bit in stocks that I invested earlier in the year with my owner draws. I am in unknown waters and don't want to be foolish by wasting opportunity.
Yeah. Cashflowbanking.com, wealthfactory.com/no more budget. We've got investment advisors, cash flow specialists, tax strategists, like the people that could really dissect and figure out what's your investor DNA, what is the cash needs for the business, where's a place to store that cash, how big is the business, what risks do those business face. There's a thing called an 831B, which is a way that you have your own insurance company. You can put money in pre-tax. You can have basic investments in there. Like there's so much that's possible, but it really needs a little bit more interaction. So I'm just sprinkling seeds and ideas and then giving resources.
Yes. Yeah. It's just like with anything, context matters. So knowing the ins and outs of her personal situation, her business will allow a team to help her make the right decisions for herself. Okay. You mentioned Billionaire's Method. That's a good resource.
Yeah. Billionairesmethod.com, because I mentioned cash flow banking, and that book is great as like, where could you store money for the midterm that you could do better than maybe CDs and money markets and have more liability and asset protection. So billionairesmethod.com, very small investment for a very popular book. It's amazing how much that book's gotten around. What would billionaires do? And like I just had my friend in New York say, hey, my daughter just brought this book home today and I saw that you authored it. And
cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun to hear those stories and see this getting around, because it's really a good way to kind of do what the banks are doing with some of their reserves, so that you can kind of cut them out and get a little bit better return, a little bit more, tax advantage. So turn your thoughts into profits. Build the life you love. This is Garrett Gunderson and
Chief of Staff Stolba
signing off. See you next time. Click a link, find a similar video that gives you new information. What's funny about tax? Nothing. But we might as well figure it out so you can keep a lot more of the money you make without tipping this partner called the government. Click here to find out more.